Hello, everybody. We'll wait for a few people to join in. I'm just going to see if I can get some captions, what people are actually saying here. So please comment and share and all the usual things. I'm here with artist Lana and HareGirl Ray, and we're here to talk about the mysterious North Conference, which I'm really looking forward to on the 26th and 27th of September. And usually this is a bit different because it's usually asking questions, but we're just going to talk about what we're going to do. Maria is also going to be speaking, an excellent, amazing master dowser. Well, she just says she's a second generation dowser from a master dowser, but she really is a master dowser. So much knowledge. And the same with Kate Ray. She's got so much knowledge about the fae, the folk, and everything really interesting, and paranormal as well. Artist Lana, you could just got so many wonderful stories. And if you haven't seen Artist Lana's art and her psychic art that she does, and it goes far deeper than that, then do check out both the pages. So I'm going to start with yourself, Lana, because it's between yourself and Maria that this wonderful event is going ahead. So I know a fair bit about it, but as it's your baby, if you want to say about it, where it is, and how people, it's in the description, the link. So if anybody wants to join, then they can click on and buy tickets. So over to you, Lana.
Thank you. Well, it's going to be held in 26th. Will be held in Thirlmere, which is near Keswick, and on the 27th will be held at Castlereagh and Longmeg and her daughters. So it's actually going to be quite an exciting event because Maria is going to be doing hands-on with people. She's going to be looking at earth energies, frequencies, all that kind of thing on the Sunday. But on the Saturday, people have us and Maria to speak with covering a broad section, a cross-section of subjects, really. So we just thought that we would bring a conference of that nature to the North, because the North is rich in all kinds of history. And of course, you've got the stone circles. I think there's 5 stone circles in Cumbria. So we're pretty lucky. I'm pretty lucky because I live in the Northeast. So I am northern. I am quite northern, as you can tell by the accent. So yes, it's going to be, I think, an exceptional event. I think people will enjoy it. Plus, the 26th and the 27th can be purchased together, or they can be purchased separately. So it gives people a choice rather than sort of amalgamate it all in one go. And people can pay according to what they want to spend.
Fantastic. And I must say as well, and we have got some clips that I've got lined up of the wonderful Maria Wheatley, because she's not here, but it gives you an idea of how skillful she is and how knowledgeable she is as well. And we will talk a little bit about where we'll be visiting on the Sunday afterwards. But if you want to say before we move on to Kate, what you're going to be talking about at this festival, this event.
Well, I'm going to be talking about connecting with the ancestors at ancient sites, because I have done that with various sites throughout the UK, mainly the North, but including Castlereagh. But one in Leicester, which was an Iron Age fort in Melton Mowbray. That's right, yeah. So there are various sites that I've connected with the ancestors and sketched them. So I'll leave those sketches for that time. I won't reveal everything. So I'll be talking about that. Plus, I have an involvement with Durham University and, well, it's the archaeological section of Durham University, and it's the Auckland Trust. It's local to where I live, so I'm very lucky. We've got a lot of history on the doorstep, so it's quite a privilege to be included in that particular group and see all the artifacts from Roman age, Roman period, and medieval. So we've got sort of a broad range of artifacts, which is very interesting to look at. And I actually held on Friday a jet pin, and it was perfect. It was highly polished. It looked brand new, and also saw a ring with an engraving of a W. It was really, really good to see all these artifacts, really. So I'm quite privileged.
Sounds absolutely amazing, exciting. We'll get back to that a little later, but I want to now bring Kate in, because we're not strangers to actually meeting each other at Power Meet and a couple of other places we've also met as well. Some exciting ones, which I have to really thank you about as well, Kate. So if you want to say a bit, I mean, your knowledge about the Fae gnomes is just, you've just got so much knowledge about it. But do you want to say a little bit about what you're going to be bringing to the event and what you're going to be talking about?
Yeah, I mean, this has been a perfect opportunity for me. And I must say, to start off with, what a privilege it's going to be to spend that weekend with you all. Lana, I haven't met you in person yet, but I feel like I know you already.
Yes.
Maria, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting either, and she's sort of been on the parameters. We've been ships in the night,
Yeah.
a lot of conferences and places and spaces, so that's going to be a real delight. So what I'm going to be talking about really kind of moves on from the notion of ancestry, so that's going to be a real nice link with what you're talking about, Lana, which is fairies, and particularly fairies and the dead, and fairies and death. So it will definitely come in with ancient places, ancient sites where the two can join, if you like, where the spirits of the dead and fairies are said to dwell. So I'll be looking across the board. So it won't be your airy fairy stuff. Not that anybody knows me for talking about the airy fairy side of things, but a little bit of a deeper dive into that crossover with stone circles, long barrows, all the ancestors, all the kind of different notions that go hand in hand with all these mysterious places. So being in that landscape as well as being with you guys it's a super treat. It is going to be a super, super treat.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to say, before we add more to what we're talking about here this evening, just a few thank yous to those joining us, a few hellos. So I've got Kathy, who's here, hello to you. Diana, who's here, hello to you. Andy, Linden, Cowabunga, Dean, and Dean is a massive fan of yours. We met him at Power Meet. Pat and Tanya. So thank you so much for joining, everybody. And if I happen to miss anybody that's watching, do say hi. Also, do get your questions in as well. And we've got a few pictures that I'm going to share about the sites that we're seeing. You sent them to me fairly recently, so I'm going to pull a few up at random now. And these wonderful photographs were also taken by yourself, Lana. So I thought it might be nice if you talk about it. And also, if you can bring in as well the fairies and the fae in nature whilst we see these wonderful sites. So we'll also tie it together. So let me get these up. Did you want...
Paul, can you put the diagram first before the photographs? Your view.
I will do my very best. So I think that this is, I'm going to show it. Is this it here?
Yes.
Okay. So is that the diagram you want?
No, it was a different one, but that'll do. Just to explain that this is Castlereagh, looking at an aerial view. It's a very unusual circle because it has an inner, you can see an inner part to it, like a rectangle of stones, which is called the sanctuary. So there's 38 standing stones, but there should have been 42. And it is set within an absolutely beautiful setting, which the photographs will illustrate.
Absolutely. And also as well, I must say, and I'll pull up the other image now because they're very, very tiny thumbnails. Yeah. There's going to be people watching on their mobile phones that say this is too small, but if you grab with your two thumbs and pull aside with your two thumbs on the screen, you can actually zoom in and then move around on what you want to see on this image right now, because I do realize it is going to be small for some people. So let's just see And I'm doing well, Kathy. Thank you. How are you doing? Let me just see if I can change this now. So bear with me whilst I sort this out and try another image here. So there's another diagram here. So let's see if this is the one you're talking about.
Yes, you can see the sanctuary a lot better, but it is smaller than Longmeg, but it must be one of the most beautiful, set within the most beautiful landscape of many of the stone circles that we have.
Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, Maria will add an awful lot to this as well. So probably about 1:15, I'll play one of the videos that I've got lined up for Maria. So let me do some more images. These are coming out because I've just downloaded them. So people are thinking I'm not. So it's been a busy day. So I've just done this last minute, but I hope that you're enjoying the order that these come in. And to be honest, if you're like me, a little bit of randomness is never a bad thing. So this is a wonderful photograph. And do you want to also, as well, once you've explained, Lana, bring something in yourself, Kate, as well, about the connection, particularly with these ancient sites and the Fae?
I mean, the first thing that's very striking is there is lots of connections between fairies and circles anyway. Fairy circles are a classic motif, if you like, within fairy folklore.
Mm.
And like Lana was saying, these stone circles are still set in these almost wilderness, rugged landscapes that retain their wild and their wild nature. You very rarely see, like you do within France, where you go to a stone circle and it's on the back of some farmer's field and there's chickens all over it. Ours still stands within these vast landscapes. And fairies are notorious for still loving that wild element. So it's no surprise that they would be attracted to such places.
Yes. It is actually surrounded by mountains. If you stood in the middle and took your phone and went all the way around, it's just completely surrounded.
Amazing. And I've got this from Pat, who's watching now. Have either of you visited Bryn? I'm dyslexic. This is entirely unfair. Bryn Cell Dewey. I don't know if you're able to read that from there. I'm not sure where that even is or how you even pronounce that. But apparently it's amazing energy, as Pat says. So have either of you been to this place that I can't pronounce? And please help me out here.
No, sorry, I haven't been.
Oh, I love the fact, I'm assuming that it's Welsh. So it wouldn't have mattered if you were dyslexic or not. You'd have said it wrong unless you were fluent in Welsh. So don't feel bad, Paul.
No.
I haven't been, but I will certainly look it up just for Paul's amazing pronunciation of the place.
Yeah. And I've got hello, Paul, Lana, Kate. Can't wait to hear more. So it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to be talking myself at this event, if I close this down, if I can do, about past lives. And my talk is going to be fake, fantasy, or fact. But I'll do something to tie it within the area as well as we're there, and perhaps add in a little bit so that people might be able to tap into the place memory by giving my special code that I give to my clients, so that they can instantly put themselves into a light hypnotic state and just pick up the energy. I won't say what that word is there, because I just think too many people might be testing out to just see if it works on people that know me, that particular word. But yeah, so I might show now if anybody has anything else to add. Hello, Nando. Good to see you here. I might add a clip of Maria Wheatley. Does anybody else want to add anything to this at the moment?
No, other than obviously you'll be showing Longmeg after Maria, or?
Yes, so let me just get Longmeg up. So I've just got to try and find one of the images as well. So let me just see about Longmeg. So let me get that up, images. And also as well, you should be able to share as well. I am apologetic, people, because I have got, let's see if this is, so we got this image here.
Yeah.
So is that Longmeg now?
It is.
Good.
Yeah. It actually, and again, if you find the diagram Not now. It's okay.
It's okay, I can. Is that the second diagram that I showed? Because I'm more than happy to pull that up in a moment.
It's the one, it kind of has a track going through. A line going through.
That one? No, the other one, wasn't it? Well, it was a 50-50 chance.
It was.
Now, is that the... So this is the one. This is the one here. There we go.
No, it's not that one. That's still Castlerig.
Oh.
It's another one, and it has a line going through kind of towards the right.
I'm going to have to find the images, so I might actually download that one as we're talking right now. But if you're happy to actually share with me right now, Lana, I can then pull it up from the screenshot. Are you able to do that as well now? So if I get Maria Wheatley up, because I think it'd be nice to do that.
Yes.
Oh, and thank you, Dean, for the compliment with my haircut. And I noticed Nando's watching, and yes, Sarah can rub my hair next time we meet as well, because that is a specific request from her. So Maria is so knowledgeable, and what she doesn't know about ancient sites, you know, you can just ask her anything and she will just talk without any interruptions. She's just an absolute fountain of knowledge. So as she can't be with us actually at this moment, I thought I would share one of these videos. So this is because I used to work at the Isborne. I used to book guest speakers for the Isborne, and part of the booking guest speakers was Maria Wheatley. I chose her and we went on a field trip. This is at Wheatley Longborough, and this is about how she was involved with scientific studies. She won't probably do anything like that at this event that we're going to, but it just shows the knowledge and it's really interesting. So I think I'll show it now.
You see, earth energy is really strong. Water energy, that yin water I was talking about, is really strong. It emits an electromagnetic field, okay? Now, when you place a chamber, a structure, a standing stone, and you root it into the earth energy, ley or grid lines, for example, something really amazing starts to happen. So I'm going to pretend that's a standing stone. I'm going to pretend it's rooted into the earth energy. A stone is rooted in a bit further in the ground. Now imagine this. You have 1, 2 energy bands and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above ground, and they kind of spiral round the stone like this, creating a band of energy. Yeah. Well, I used to do tours with an archaeologist. He was an amateur archaeologist, a very good amateur archaeologist, and he's found things and discovered many archaeological facts to do with the ancient site of Avebury. Anyway, I used to do tours with him, and I was always the butt of the joke when we used to go for a couple of pints in the Red Lion. If you ever go to Avebury, come on, go to the Red Lion. You can really enjoy yourself there. It's fantastic. You'll probably see me in there from time to time as well. Anyway, we were in there and he said, everything with you, Maria, is touchy-touchy, feely-feely. You can't prove a goddamn thing. Well, it was a reasonably warm day. I had 2 pints of quite strong lager, quite fast, and suddenly I felt like Boudica. And I said, okay, money on the table. I want to bet 100 quid. You give me the equipment. We get in contact with people that can have the equipment, and I will prove or disprove those energy bands, because I'm a researcher and a truth seeker. And okay, my dad did a lot of work on that, as did other dowsers, but my late father was always the one that talked about the earth energy being converted to the aerial energy. Like this, of what the standing stone does. It basically changes earth energy into an aerial signal. Yeah, that's the concept. So anyway, a wonderful guy called Rodney Hale. To this day, I'm so thankful to you, Rodney, because you did come along. You did come along with your laptop and your electromagnetic sensing equipment, very, very sensitive. You made me douse the energy bands to begin with, and we gently marked them with a stick, like you do in archaeology. And he said, okay, now we've got the readout on the laptop. If there is going to be a signal, I've made it audible, so we should hear a bit of a buzz, like zzz. And that was the thing. And you could see it on a graph on the laptop anyhow. And anyway, so Rodney lifted it up, the face of the stone, and when it hit the electromagnetic energy band, we've always said it's electromagnetic, it suddenly went zzz. And then when it went out of the energy band, it dropped down quiet again, and then went zzz again. Anyway, he did it time and time again and put it through a very scientific statistical t-test, as he calls it. It's very mathematical. I don't understand it, but what it means is you can get a number from that, and it came out, the number, it was 99.9% accurate that was going on. So we know our ancient ancestors could convert Earth energy into an aerial form of energy and send a signal across the landscape. And in fact, band number 4 above ground can send a signal of an electromagnetic linear line to the next stone circle, as if the ancients were making free energy, possibly. And it's no wires involved. This is Neolithic Wi-Fi from our ancient civilization. And I believe, again, we're just rediscovering some of the truths about these wonderful temple spaces and about stone circles. There is more to a stone circle than meets the eye.
So that does show how knowledgeable Maria really is, which is just fantastic. And we will be playing more clips from Maria a little later. Now, you've just sent me through the image. I think I've got it here. So talk amongst yourselves and mention something that would be important to you whilst I just load this up now, if that's okay.
I can't hear.
You can't hear?
No, Kate.
I've muted myself. Sorry, I didn't want the buzz to come through over the top of that.
Well done.
It's okay. Yeah. Have you been to Cumbria then, Kate?
I haven't. Usually, if I go up sort of the borders of Scotland on the east side, sort of Holy Island, and then up to the borders that way. But this side's all new to me, so I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Doubly excited.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be fascinating, especially with Maria on the Sunday as well. You know,
Yeah.
pulled with the 26th. So it's going to be fascinating.
I am excited to she's so enthusiastic when she speaks, isn't she? And
Yeah.
she knows her stuff, and it's infectious, isn't it, to listen to her, because she knows what she's talking about and she's very passionate about it.
She is. Yes. Yes, it'll be amazing, really. I think that, like I said, although our subjects kind of link in a little bit, we are quite different. So people get quite a broad area of knowledge, really, on the latest research that we're all doing.
Yeah.
All right.
So here we go. I've got there in the end, and it was with my personal photographs that this got downloaded to. So I'm glad that I shared the right thing. No, I've got nothing to worry about, so don't worry. But yeah, I'm glad I managed to share the right thing on here anyway. So this looks fascinating. Do you want to explain this to us now, Lana, please? Yes,
this stone circle is one of the largest in England. I think it's one of 6 in England to be. It's massive. I think it's 103 meters by 93. And the track that you see leads to a farmhouse. So generally, if you go, you park up kind of just before the stone circle. There's kind of little laybys in order to park up. But it's also a fascinating place because not dead bang in the centre, but just off from the track onto the left-hand side towards the centre are these beautiful trees. And the last time I went there, I just spent an hour and a half just sat under this amazing tree. And it was just so healing. The energy within that circle that day was extremely healing. So Long Meg stands on her own. She's made of red sandstone, and it's said, legend has it, that it was a witch's coven, and a Scottish wizard petrified them into stone. And if you can count the same number of stones twice and get it right, it breaks the curse, apparently. So that's quite an interesting little story for you, Kate, you know. Especially folklore and legend, it's going to be something that's quite interesting. But I found I had quite an experience in that particular circle. The guardian of the stone came towards me. I always ask permission to enter the stone circle, any stone circle, out of respect. And he came towards me, and I'll let you know how he was dressed if you attend the event. But he was a very interesting man, I'll put it that way. And at first I thought he was quite angry, but he wasn't. It was just the way he was. So no, it was a very interesting experience in all. So I'm sure that people who attend the event on the 27th will experience the same sort of kind of experiences.
And we're talking 26th and 27th of September here. So in the description of this live video, whether it's on Facebook or whether it's on YouTube, is the link so you can get the ticket sales as well. But there's also a Facebook group as well. So if you want to join the Facebook page, Mysterious North Conference, then you can get the latest updates and things that are happening for that. And I also want to say, whilst I'm here, hello to Jacqueline, who's joined us. I think Dean might be taking a visit to that site. Justin's here. Good evening to you, Justin. And I think I said Nando and Lorraine, but in case I didn't, hello to you both now. Is this something that you do as well, Kate? Because I must admit, I when I turn up at these sites, you know, I enjoy going to them, and I walk in, which, you know, now you said you asked permission to go in. I think that's very important. Is that something that you do as well, Kate? And please don't scold me for not asking for permission. But, you know, when you go to these heritage sites, to just have a plaque and then you walk in.
I am definitely a stone botherer. Definitely. I have a couple of mystical atlases of Britain stuffed in the car at all times, and no matter where I go, I'll try and find a place where I can sort of pull over. And I found some really weird ones off the beaten track. You know, I've been to a conference or been to a ghost hunt, and on the way back, I'll have a scan around and just have a look. I don't ask permission, but I'm actually a bit of a bugger for pushing boundaries on things and saying, you know, come at me, I want to know what you're about. I've also had a quite a recent rant about stone circles and the modern kind of uses of them, and I mean, I really like going to places where there's nobody else, you know. I like finding spaces and places where I can actually be within that environment without listening to other people, or, you know, trying to filter out other people's ceremonies or other people's their own enjoyment of it, which for me sometimes isn't just sat down. It can be whatever they want to do. So yeah, I'm a bit of a grump with some of the bigger stone circles. I do like them wild and free.
Well, you will enjoy this one because Longmeg, because it's on private land, so you don't get hordes of tourists coming. You do at Castlereagh, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we go in quite early, I think 10 o'clock. It's from 10 till 4:30 on Sunday. So we might just sort of be lucky on the morning. We might have some quiet time. But this one, people come, walk the dog, go through the, you know, on the track, or they'll walk around. But it tends to, especially the time that I was there last, it just in drips and drabs. People came and went, and I had it mainly to myself, so it was ideal.
I think with going with Maria as well, and both yourselves, it's going to be more about gaining more of the knowledge of the place as well for me. And I'm, you know, that for me really excites me. You know, if I don't get to sit and sort of absorb the atmosphere, that's by the by for me. Just being able to listen to everybody talk about their experiences and what they know about the place is going to be fantastic.
It is, yeah.
I will put this out because I was going to come to this, so you beat me to it, Dean. But I want to just say, because, you know, obviously this is about the Mysterious North Conference, but, you know, you do work hard, Kate, and you're going to be on Blaze this coming Wednesday. So that's on Freeview Channel 64. I don't know what it is on Sky, but if you pop that on, you'll be able to see Kate Ray. Obviously, we are talking about Mysterious North Conference, but do you want to just give a quick shout out and just a couple of the places you're visiting, what you can say about it anyway, Kate?
Yeah, I mean, it ties in with this beautifully, really. I had the opportunity of a lifetime to go on a tour of fairy places in Scotland with the Weird Britain crew, and it was absolutely fantastic. And I mean, I gave away a spoiler this time last year about it, where I ended up on summer solstice in the fairy pools. And it was a bit fresh, let me tell you. But I did coerce Andy, who's the host of Weird Britain, into some fairy shenanigans. So yeah, I wasn't that best behaved on that trip, but it was great fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing it actually. But it does tie in nicely because we did go to a lot of ancient places with folklore
Brilliant.
about fairies. So yeah, it was good. Thank you for that.
And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I must say hello to Neil Packer, who's watching. Hello, Neil. And also, if anyone wants to share this out, I will. That'll be really wonderful as well. And thank you to every single person who is watching at the moment. And please ask any questions. So one thing which is really good, it's good for parking at the sites that we're going to be visiting. And we've got a wonderful hall that we're doing the event in. So do you want to say any more about the event, the hall, or do you want to explain about this photograph now, this aerial shot that we're looking at, Lana?
Well, the aerial shot just sort of highlights, in comparison with the farm and the enclosure, how large the stone circle is. It goes over, you know, the expanse of one field. It is quite massive, and it's hard to capture that in a photograph. Which is why I asked you to do the aerial view, because it kind of, you can see it better. But yeah, it's an amazing place to go to. They both are.
Amazing. And I'm just going to get up a couple more shots now that I have got set here. So let's have a look at this photo. Now this looks interesting. This is a photograph that you took. Have you any idea what that symbol represents, Lana, or, you know, even yourself tune into it because your psychic abilities?
Well, it's Long Meg herself. There is another photograph, Paul, as well, of her leaning. She kind of looks like a big face in a way, a caricature. But she does have concentric circles. She has spirals and cup and ring markings, and it's quite significant of other ancient sites. There are kind of that do sort of ritualistic, or they believe to have been ritualistic circles in nature. I mean, they don't really know the exact use or purpose of them. That's it. So that's
good.
And people leave offerings all the time. You'll wander up to the stone and there'll be offerings within the stone, little cracks or at the base of it.
So what sort of offerings do people tend to leave? Is it like flowers and bits of food?
Little crystals, pieces of paper, sort of folded tightly, various things really. So it's quite nice to see.
Absolutely. So I think I might play, unless anybody particularly wants to say something now, another one of Maria's clips as we're going through this. And if anybody has any questions about any of our talks that we're going to be doing at this event, so it'll be Maria Wheatley, Lana, Kate, and myself that will be speaking at this event, please get them in. If you've got any questions about Maria, then I will do my very best to answer. Actually, Maria was one of my teachers in past life regressions. And she's very, very good at a lot of things. She's also amazing at tarot as well. So this is another one of the videos, and let's see what this one's about.
When we listen to some of them are great programs like Time Team, and we listen to archaeologists like Michael Parker Pearson of the Riverside Project, and we listen to archaeologists like Mike Pitts, very famous Stonehenge archaeologists, or we listen to Josh Pollard and Mark Gillens, very famous archaeologists to do with the Avebury environs. They will tell you this: it's all about death. It's all about the ancestors. It's all about death. Why? Is there any scientific validation to that? Well, yes, certainly they found some cremation remains at Stonehenge Phase 1. Although, even back in the 60s, one astronomer archaeologist said, but the ashes could have been added later. And incidentally, there was more women buried at Stonehenge than there were men. It was originally a goddess temple. So yeah, you have some physical examples of cremations and very rarely some burials, although they're rare. But here's the thing, this is where Michael Parker Pearson, Professor Michael Parker Pearson, got the concept from his mate from Madagascar. Yeah, and his mate in Madagascar said, well, on our island, we still have a tradition where you put a standing stone as like a tomb marker, a gravestone. So if they did that in Madagascar, he projected that model onto Stonehenge and said, it's all about the ancestors and death. But if we apply that model and we look at a modern day church, we could say, yes, I have found lots of burials there. I've found skeletons, I've found cremations, dating back hundreds of years. It's all about death because that's what's physically left behind. No. We know the church was about beautiful ceremonies like marriage, christening our children into the Christian faith, if that's what we feel that is good for our children. And bells used to ring out at wartime. People used to be judged in churches. So for me, these wonderful ancient sites are not for the dead, they are for the living. So that these places with these earth energies could be used for oracle chambers, for healing. I don't know exactly what they were used for, but what I do know is towards the end of their phase, if you will, of the Neolithic, when it came to the Bronze Age crossover, round about 2700 to 2500 BC, the skulls of quite often long-skulled people, although round-skulled as well, were placed into these chambers along with their long bones and sometimes their vertebrae. Very rarely a whole skeleton, but sometimes that would happen. And they'd be put in here, then it would be infilled with earth, and then you'd have a huge blocking stone blocking it off. They decommissioned them and they put the burials in there. So archaeologists will say it's all about death and the ancestors, but go to these sites. Walk around them, interact with the energies, feel these sacred spaces. And I think that anyone with an ounce of sensitivity would say, do you know what? There's something more going on. There's solar alignments, lunar alignments, planetary alignments, earth energies, ley energies, grid lines. Would you do all of that for a deceased person? I think it was about a science, a metaphysical science from a very high sophisticated culture that goes way, way back to the Mesolithic period of 8000 BC, 10,000 BC. And these were the people that found the different energy places like Stonehenge Centre, like Avebury Centre, like Ballisnap. And there's an archaeologist called Tim Champion. And what Tim discovered was the meeting point of two aquifers, which they must have used water divining for that. They would cite very ancient settlement places or ceremonial places called causewayed enclosures above the meeting point of two aquifers. You're talking about master geologists. That is not happy chance, because what Tim discovered was not just one causeway enclosure of the ancient Neolithic high culture, not two, not three, not four, not five. Every single causeway enclosure in northwest Europe represents the meeting point of two aquifers. And when that happens, you have this amazing amount of electromagnetic energy coming out of the ground. Shows that our ancient ancestors were master astronomers with their solar and lunar and planetary alignments and stellar alignments. They were master geologists, fantastic mathematicians, and they realized something is going to give you long life. It's going to open up your chakras, open up your third eye if you live in harmony with the earth. It's easy to do. I teach people internationally on Skype and through my dowsing workshops and courses, and within 5 or 10 minutes I'll get you feeling water energies, grid lines and earth currents, and you will see Gaia for her beauty, for her energy system, and you will realize that by living in harmony and remembering what these ancient people did, we too can live in harmony with Gaia once more.
So as I pull that down now, I'm going to get this question up, and that's something that will be happening whilst we're at the I get the right video now as well. Where is this? I think that's the right video. Have I done this right? Yes, I've done it right. So I think we should be appearing now in a second. Good, good, good. And that's what Maria will be doing with us as well. She'll be helping us to teach and truly feel those energies as well. I had a few more questions here, so let me get them up. So first of all, I'd like to say, and thank you very much, Dean. Great viewing, thank you. So that's wonderful to hear. Thank you, Dean. And I'll ask both of you. So I know a little bit about Maria. I'd like to know when she first realized she had a gift. I know Maria's father was a master dowser, and she created a really wonderful film recently, which I had the privilege of showing, and in that you do see a few shots of her father right at the very end, and I've forgotten the name of the film right now, and I do apologize, Maria, because it was an amazing film. But what I will do, I will share out the link either tonight, after this is finished, probably tonight, and so people can actually watch it themselves. So it's available to stream on an American site. You have to pay for it, but it's well worth a lot. And I know that you've seen it as well, haven't you, Lana? It was an amazing film. It's
excellent. It is. It's definitely worth watching.
So, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. There was a slight, it's a slight stop then for a second. So I'd like to then sort of say, because I know that that's how Maria learnt. She learnt through her dad being a master dowser, and she does tarot incredibly well. For yourself, you both pick up psychically, and I'll go with yourself, Kate, to sort of mix it up a bit. So tell us how you first started. Because these sorts of questions that people will ask us throughout Mysterious North. So it'd be nice to know how you first started, because you know you are incredibly good. And if anybody hasn't as well seen the Supernatural UK, there's going to be a brilliant episode coming up soon with you, and all the ones with you in are brilliant, Kate, and actually all of them has been brilliant so far as well. So do you want to just tell a little bit about your journey? Obviously it's about Mysterious North, but it's nice to know a little bit about each other so we can present that to people as we're talking tonight.
I think the easiest way to answer that is I have no idea. I heard somebody use the phrase not so long ago, and I did say I'm going to steal that forevermore, because a guy said that he felt like it was baked into his system, baked into him, that it wasn't a particular aha moment, if you like. It was just baked into every day. And I don't ever say that it's a gift. I'd say that we're all capable of doing it. It's just whether we choose to and whether we choose to nurture it, you know, the two elements. But we all have the ability, and we all do it without even knowing it. We all have psychic moments without even calling them psychic moments, you know. We've all had those times when we've had the real urge to phone somebody but not knowing why, and then you realise afterwards that there was an urgency to phone a particular person. So gift, I don't think it is. It's a gift to give it back. It's nice to be able to give back to people with the things that I do, but yeah, it's a difficult, tricky question. Lana, what about you? Have you got an easier answer than me?
Not really. I do agree with yourself. It's there. But there's usually a catalyst along the way. Whatever the catalyst is, might sort of amplify, bring it out a little bit more so that, you know, you can work with it. So in a way, I do call it a gift, because it is something that you realize, there's a realization when the catalyst kind of occurs, when that moment occurs. And, you know, I mean, yeah, for me, I was always interested. And for those who've seen me with being interviewed with Paul previously, probably have heard the story, but I was knocked down as a child, so I don't remember a lot of things before the age of 10 kind of thing. But kind of when I was about 18, 19, I was always interested. It kind of sort of built up a lot more with people. And I'd done portraits from being 4. It was always portraits or people, you know. So I was working as a rep, and a friend of mine had invited me to his house for a reading. So I agreed. And it was a spiritualist lady. And she did readings by having you put your hands in a tray of sand, and she would read the imprints, which I found fascinating. But she told me that spirit was putting a pencil in my hand, and like it or not, I was going to work for spirit. Well, I just said, I ain't got time for that. I haven't got time. You know, I'm a mother. I look after a house. I'm working. How can I do that? But it comes about, and without you even thinking about it. And it did very quickly. So my belief is that once you have that realization moment where you kind of have to digest it a little bit, things seem to fall into place. If you are meant to do it, spirit will make it apparent that that's what you're going to do. So within a very short time, I later went to the same friends invited me. But what I missed out was after that reading, my friend put a pile of paper in front of me and said, right, no time like the present. I said, I'm sorry, I've just been told, I don't know what to do. So he said, well, look at me and draw me. Well, I just burst out laughing for 10 minutes. But then I started to draw, and I was thinking, no, can't be right. So everybody wanted a drawing that night. There was about 5 people there. And I went from, you know, before I went in, just doing my job, and then walked out a psychic artist. It was weird, and people could relate to what I drew straight away. And I thought, no, it must be a fluke, you know, as you do. And I think for the first year, I just, you know, whenever I sort of drew details that were correct with people, it was, I just said, oh my God, you know, I wasn't one of these cool psychic artists. I mean, like a little
Oh,
bit.
you are cool.
I wasn't cool at all. Well, I wasn't.
No, you are.
But within a few weeks, I then went to Psychic Fair with the same friends, never been to one. And I was sat in a waiting area in front of one of the tables, chatting to them. I looked down, and about 3 waiting areas down, there was a man with the brightest blue eyes, which made me notice him. So I went to the organizer's wife's table to say, can I have a piece of paper and a pencil, quick? I need to draw this person. Normally, I mean, I would ask permission now, but then it felt like an urgency. So I drew what was a biblical figure and wrote Joseph at the bottom. Anyway, I took it back to the organizer's wife and said, can you please give it to that man, because he's sat in front of the psychic artist's table and it's unethical for me to walk up with this. So anyway, he came, he approached me and he said, what made you do this? Nobody has ever done anything like this for me before. And I said, I don't know. But when I saw him, his eyes weren't that bright. They were the most brightest blue eyes I've ever seen when I first saw him. And they were just sort of ordinary, you know. And I said, well, do you believe in God? I thought, well, I'll ask a question that relates to the drawing. And he said, well, I'm researching the Bible. I'm searching for the truth. And at that, because of the place I was in, the organizer had overheard the conversation, then said, it would be nice to have I'll see if we can have 2 psychic artists, but give me a call on the Sunday. So I did, and about 8 o'clock I called him, and he said, I've thought about it, I'm too small for 2 psychic artists. I said, fair enough, it's fine. Then he phoned back 2 hours later and he said, are you a witch? And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, the psychic artist cancelled the tables for 6 months. And that's how I started. It was like they paved the way. And, it was how I gained my experience.
I think that's really common when you kind of align with what you're meant to be doing. It's amazing. Everything just snowballs. It's like you don't even have to think about what you want to manifest. It just one after another. It just comes and tumbles and tumbles. I often say that I'm used by the gnomes. In that respect, once that floodgate opened, it was synchronicities and chance meetings, and it just rolled on. It was things that you're meant to be doing will have that momentum of their own, whether you like it or not. Kicking and screaming, they'll drag you down that avalanche with them. So it's best just to go with the flow.
It is. What can you do?
Yeah.
And, I was actually thinking this would be an ideal time. I'll also bring another one of Maria's videos. I've got 3 to show. But I was thinking, do you have your some of your artwork, psychic artwork, that you could just share me on the phone quickly again so I can then show a picture? If you're happy for me to do that, on because I think it'd be a really nice thing to do. And Kate, do you have one of your books next to you could also share as well?
Do you want it right this minute?
I might as well do it right this minute, yes. And if you could share that to me, Lana, as well, that'd be brilliant, and I can get that up.
If I can find them, Paul.
Okay.
Have a lot.
And we have Hello from New Zealand by Patricia. And I've saw some messages come up, which I've put my hand up and waved. So if I missed anybody, I do apologise. Whilst Kate's now gone off and Lana's sharing with me her artwork. Oh, excellent. No, Kate's back now. So if you want to share now, that would be amazing.
I just went down the gnome hole then to retrieve some. So that's the first one. So that's about the case of the Woollerton gnomes, and this one is their further adventure that they went on. So as we were saying, when I was writing the first one, I didn't want to write it for a start because I was writing a very academic paper, and I kept getting bothered. And the title, The Woolly Snots, I hated, and I went to a very good friend of mine who I was hoping was going to convince me not to use that title because it was absolutely ridiculous, and he said it's absolutely genius. And I was like, well, I've got to go with it then, haven't I? And it just literally wrote itself. But, I was hijacked by the gnomes.
Wow. The covers are lovely. Did you design them, Kate?
Yes, I did all the illustrations in both books.
They're lovely.
And Pat has confirmed that the book is very good. Yes. I know my mum loves the books as well. So, yeah, you've got lots of people that have read them and absolutely love them. So I'm going to get Maria's interview up now, and whilst we do that, I just got to go to videos quickly. And how is it? This one. So here we go. Here's another one of Maria's videos.
We're at the fantastic Longstone of Minchinhampton, and it's right opposite Gatcombe Park where Queen Anne, Princess Anne lives rather. So we can see on this stone that it's got some holes in it, and this is what it was famous for from the medieval times onwards, because children were passed through the holes that had rickets and other ailments, and even healthy children for good luck. So it's considered ever since the medieval period to be very, very healing. And people have come here, myself included, with a bad knee, and I placed my knee through the lower hole, and it certainly did help. But there's more to this stone. What gives it its healing properties? Its healing properties come from the earth, because it's literally been located on some very powerful earth energies. And those earth energies are female earth current that is flowing through from an angle like this, through the standing stone and out the other side, and she gently curves over. And take a close look at this stone now. The stone is called a diamond-shaped stone, and that's a feminine stone placed on a feminine earth current. So what we can see is it's narrow at the top and heavier at the bottom. So that's what gives it its feminine qualities. Whereas a stone that is the same height at the top to the bottom, column-like, that's considered a masculine yang stone. So it's sited on this earth energy. But there's more. There's hardly any just one thing going on at a monolith such as this. Deep, deep, deep below the ground, there is a type of water that is different from the water we're all familiar with. The water that we're familiar with falls from the sky, fills up the aquifers, the underground streams and the underground rivers, and that is what I term yang water. And so yes, it could have fallen like 30, 40,000 years ago, and it's still in these aquifers. But to live above that type of water is considered geopathic stress and will give you illnesses or ailments. So it's not good to live above. Perfectly fine to drink, obviously. Now, I'm not talking about that type of water. I'm not talking about geopathic stress water. I'm talking about a healing form of water that is born within the womb of Gaia. And this type of water generates a spiral pattern called a geospiral, which is influenced by the phases of the moon. So 6 days after a new or full moon, if it's rotating this way, it will change its rotation. And that's given a mild vortex effect. And geospirals were discovered by the master dowser Guy Underwood, who worked with other water diviners looking at ancient sites from the 30s, 40s, 50s through to the 60s. And my late father inherited all of the unpublished surveys and manuscripts of Guy Underwood, because when, after he died, his book got published, but it was the wrong manuscript. And that's why he got slated off by a lot of other dowsers, saying you don't know what you're on about because it was the wrong manuscript, and it was full of mistakes. But what we do know about this type of yin water, which is my own research into Underwood's legacy, is that it emits a Hertz frequency. And that Hertz frequency can be measured. This is a scientific fact. And it always, 9 times out of 10, gives off between 7 and 11 Hertz. And that's round about your alpha brain waves respond to that kind of, when you're in a meditative state, when you're relaxed, your brain will go into alpha. I'm talking at the moment, I'm thinking about what I'm saying next, so my brain waves are beta. Okay, so it brings us into that energy zone of being relaxed in our alpha state of meditation and a meditative state of being. So just by interacting with this standing stone above that large volume of water here, because there's 2 geospirals here. One is 14 coils and the other is 42 coils. So now we've got double the energy. So no wonder it was considered healing. And what my work after Underwood looked at all the different sizes of geospirals, and they go up in 7s, and we have 7 chakras. So I think the highest coils, which are 49 coils, represent the crown chakra. The third eye is 42, for example, and we have a 42 coiled geospiral set beneath that standing stone. Plus, you have a ley line that goes off through Mitchenhampton Common that this stone is also associated with. So we've got underground yin water, we've got an earth current that is feminine, and we also have a ley line. So when you go to an ancient site, you don't just think about one thing. And it is very easy to douse the earth currents with a simple L rod like this. And I can say to this rod, for example, show me my yes response and show me my no response. And I can walk across this stone, and roughly the width of the stone is depicting the width of the earth current, like I said, which is feminine. So I think it's all the earth energies, all the underground water that's given this spirit of place. Now, when you place a standing stone into that type of earth, it starts to emit energy at 7 points going up the stone. 5 of those energy points are above ground, 2 are below, and we can work with those types of megalithic energy as well. So yes, it's a healing stone, but it's the location that gives it its spirit of place and its healing qualities.
And the Isbourne there is in Cheltenham, where I used to work at one point, and they do all sorts of interesting workshops and events. So, you know, if anybody's interested in stuff and they live around the Gloucestershire area, then Cheltenham the Isbourne is a well worth place going to. I'm not there anymore, but they still do some wonderful things there, so I highly recommend it. So I'm going to go to the questions there, and as you can tell, Maria knows an awful lot, and she's very generous with her time. So if anybody has any questions at Mysterious North Conference, then, you know, do ask Maria or ask any of us about any of our specialist subjects. So for myself, it'd be past lives, Kate, fairies, and also psychic abilities. Lana, her wonderful psychic abilities, and you have so many more stories. I mean, what I will do as well is I was on a program called Chit Chat Tuesday, and I spoke to both of yourselves before, so I'll also share them out over the next coming days as well, so people can get to re-enjoy those, because I really did with both of you really have an awful lot of fun. And it was at the early stages as well, and I was just beginning to really know both of you as well, so I know both of you a lot better now. But it's going to be a lot of fun, this event, and people will learn an awful lot. And I think the great thing about doing events like this is if you are someone who just wishes to experience nature, listen to some talks, and have some alone time, you can do. But if you want to meet like-minded people, you can make lots of friends at these sorts of events as well. I've got some questions coming in now. So I was thinking initially of doing it about an hour, but we will go a little further unless any of you need to go at any point, you know. But I just want to make sure that everything that is said about Mysterious North Conference is said. Direct people to the Facebook page as well. So if you look that up on Facebook, you can find about it. You can also put Mysterious North Conference into Google, and it will come up through Maria's site as well. But what I will say, the first question which has come up, love the fairies running round riot in the park. So that would be about your book, Kate.
Yeah, it was definitely true to how fairies are.
Anything else you want to add to that?
I will leave the nature of fairies to the conference, and I shall indulge a little bit more about their nature while
Amazing.
I'm there.
And yes, this is Minchinhampton in Stroud, Alison. And whilst we were there, because that particular stone we were at is fairly close to someone quite important, the police did actually turn up at one point to ask what we were doing there. But we explained the situation, and they were quite fine and just left us to it there afterwards. But yeah, Minchinhampton near Stroud, you can get to see that. And there's also lots of wonderful things around Minchinhampton. I'm very lucky, really, living where I live, because there's lots of ancient sites that are only a very short drive away.
Can you imagine that going down in your criminal record, that you actually got arrested for stone bothering? I would love that to go down on my record.
It would be good to do an investigation at the stone at Ricketts Lane, Blidworth. I think I've got a knots. So you're nodding away, Kate. Do you want to say a little more about that? Because I can tell you can. Anything you want to add to that, Lana?
So evening, Liz. Yeah. So that particular stone. I mean, I'm a Nottinghamshire lass, and I had grown up believing that Nottinghamshire was fairly devoid of things like stones and burial sites and whatnot. I came across that one, and it's not easily accessible. You have to go into it's all fenced off, which is horrible, but it's actually made of something called pudding stone, which makes it quite unusual. It just looks like a column of concrete. It's quite a bizarre thing, and I never knew about it. It was 2019 maybe, summer 2019, when I was pointed towards it from a friend of mine who was looking at sites in the UK, and I was absolutely shocked that we had one. I just thought, here's the county that I thought was just the legend of Robin Hood, and that was it, and we were devoid. And it started a bit of a lifelong mission to uncover the mysteries of Nottinghamshire, really.
Fantastic. I'm going to get your art up as well, so don't worry, I haven't forgotten about it, Lana.
All right.
Not far away from me, so that's Alison. So it's well worth a look. Wheatley's fantastic to see as well, and there's a few other long barrows as well around the area, which names escape me at the moment. So Wheatley Long Barrow, Bella's Nap is fantastic to visit as well. That's actually a really well preserved one. Will Scarlet, Buried Opposites. So I've read that right? I think I have. So let me just get this up. And then let me show the image of Lana's. Let me just go to downloads. Here we go. So that's fantastic. So again, you did share this when you're on the chat show, but would you like to share it for people now and just go a little more detail now, Lana, for those that haven't seen that chat previously?
Well, the one on the right was sketched by a famous psychic artist called Coral Pole, either Polg or Polge. And she, I believe that she was working as a psychic artist in the 50s, round about that period. And so she did that for this gentleman that I then later, much later, did this drawing on the left. And he actually said to me, I'm going to send you a drawing because I think they're quite similar. Obviously, he doesn't have a headdress on, and although it's kind of facially maybe slightly different, I felt that it was kind of on the similar lines. And I can't remember the amount of years in between, maybe 30 years in between each drawing. So I thought that was interesting.
And I pulled the other one up, and I've got one that I know very well also appearing soon. So let me just get another image up here. This one.
Yeah, this is I channeled this for Fate and Fortune magazine, which I do each month, and I picked up that his name was Scott, and he wore a dark blue uniform, policeman, I felt, and he'd had a motorbike accident, and I felt that there was a link between Yorkshire and London, that he worked in London, but tragically, he had this traumatic accident and didn't live through it. So the magazine always states, please, if you identify with the picture, send information in. So nobody sent any information in about Scott yet, but just takes the right person to read the magazine at the right time, I expect.
And also, you never know who this might reach now at the moment as well.
True, yeah.
Now, one that I know very well, coming up here. And, this is my spirit guide, and I actually use him, and he's on my bedroom wall. So through times of choices, I communicate. And you also mentioned a bit about this because we all now have something in common. We've all written for Haunted magazine now, so which is really exciting. So that's going to be absolutely fantastic and amazing. So yeah, we did at the beginning. We did like I did a past life review, and you did a reading for me as well, and I was absolutely thrilled to receive this, and I find it a great help today. I call him Miguel. That's the name that I've called him. That we knew each other in a past life as well. So do you want to add any more to that one, Lana?
As far as I can remember, I think he was an emissary for the King of Spain, and he travelled to France. I'm trying to think of other things that I said at the time. It was a while ago, Paul. I think it was around about the 1500s.
I know you said he was an advisor to me, and we were also good friends. So I use him for advice now. Yeah. So which is and I thank you for doing that, because it was a wonderful gift to receive as well. So I was absolutely delighted with that. And this one now, which I believe I've shown all of them now. And if there's any art that you want to share as well, Kate, please also as well let us know what that is, because your store is full of wonderful and brilliant things that people must know about as well. So we'll come to you in a second, Kate. What do you want to say about this one? I know about this store as well, but do you want to share that with us now, Lana?
This is Nanny Lynn's spirit guide, and I picked up. I knew nothing about this, but Alice Nutter or Rutter. I didn't quite know what the surname was, but anyway, Nanny Lynn knew. I think she knew all about her. She had been condemned to witchcraft. She, I can't again remembering a lot of detail with it, because you say so much at the time, and then you forget about it because you do so many. But I believe that she was impressed with it. So,
well, I can certainly say from my point of view that she spoke to me afterwards, private, because we're good friends, and she's only a walk away from me. But she said how much it meant to her receiving that, and she absolutely loves it and has it up in her home still.
Yeah.
So we're here talking about the mysterious North Conference. So does anybody have any questions they want to ask us about the conference? Because it's important that people know what they wish to know about it before booking and turning up. But there are places nearby to stay. It's in a wonderful area of the Lake District, and each of the places as well, like the hall has got car parking. The places nearby, as you said, have got car parking, so it's going to be easily accessible, for people, particularly if you've got transport as well. So anything you want to add as well, either of you, really?
Well, other than on the 26th when we speak, it will finish at 6 o'clock, but it will end with a Q&A. So that would be good, really, for people.
I always enjoy a Q&A, and it lets you go deeper. And sometimes as well, it even gives you a new perspective on what you've just been talking about. So I do like having questions and answers, although often when I talk, I take it right to the very moment. So people have to come and speak to me afterwards to like to fill it up as much as possible. But the last parameter I did, which is about dreams, I did actually allow. It wasn't really questions because it was just a new concept for me about dreams. It was really nice to hear people's personal experiences about their dreams as well. So Kate, anything you want to add as well before we start to draw this to a close?
I've got a feeling, a sense that this weekend's going to be a really nice opportunity for it to be intimate, for people to be able to open up and have discussions, and not just amongst us on the speakers list, but also, you know, the kind of people that it will attract. It's not your paranormal, it's not your supernatural, it's your everything, isn't it? You know, and it's kind of grounding it down into basic theories. You know, the earth energy is you know, comes down to basic theories of all kinds of strange phenomena. And I think that people right across the board are going to find this fascinating, whether you're into healing energies of the earth, whether you're into the paranormal, whether you're into fairies, whether you're into ancestors. Wherever you lay, this weekend is going to tick your boxes and kind of hopefully expand people's notions beyond that.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But also, the speakers will have stalls where they can, such as yourself, Kate, you can have your books there, Maria will, or any artwork or anything that you want to add to that. And Paul, with your MP3s, do you do this?
Yes, I've got CDs that I sell at events.
Yeah.
I have got a few other MP3s like healing, but if somebody has anything really wrong with them, I do give that one out as a gift, because I think that healing is very important. So just let me know if you feel like you need to have any healing. I've got like a confidence MP3, but I've actually had at Berry Hill Studios, which is a professional studio, did this just before lockdown, so I'm just managed to get it in before we weren't allowed to go to places. And I had this recorded at Bay Hill Studios, a past life regression, and the person that did the recording has worked with a lot of big name rock bands as well. And you see all the platinum discs up on the wall, so that's really cool to have that. So he did a fantastic job, and I really like the way it's recorded. He did an amazing job of it. So I will be having CDs, and if you're like me, old school and like CDs, I will be selling those. If you don't have CDs, a CD player, they make fantastic coasters as well. So, you know, I've got nice shiny coasters that people can have as well. And I did have the question about what my talk is called earlier. So it's called Past Lives, Fake, Fantasy, or Fact. So that's what my talk's going to be about. But as I said, that I will add in a little extra something for this so that people can tap into that, slow their brainwaves down at the site, and see what they can get a bit more whilst at the event as well. Good. So I think it's been liked very much, this whole event. Does anybody want to add anything else before we go? So I know that, you know, you're on Facebook, Lana, and we've got Hare and the Hawthorn YouTube channel. So anything else extra that anybody wants to promote as well? So go for it, Lana, to begin with.
No, just that obviously the link for the tickets are there, and just to reiterate, you can pay for one day or the other or both, so that's quite good. I think the 26th is £35 and the 27th is £25, so it's good, really.
I've got here, Alison, if I forget, message me after this live, and I will, if it's not tonight, be tomorrow for sure. I will send you through the healing hypnosis, because I'm giving that one out as a gift now. Elizabeth says thank you for a lovely evening. I know we had Dean saying how much he was enjoying it, and yeah, and also as well, as Andy says here, the CDs make some wonderful snowflake decorations as well. So yeah, I fully agree with that. So if anyone wants to have my past life regression CDs, wonderful coasters, or make your own snowflake decorations, then do get one of my past life regression discs. Kate, quickly, have you got anything you want to sort of say about your Hare and Hawthorn websites, how people can get hold of your books, because that did come up as well?
It did. Unfortunately, there's a glitch in Amazon, the big beast that is Amazon at the minute. So I am only selling them through myself. If people aren't going to get to the conference to see me to pick up a book, then if you send me a message, and I'll personally post both or one of the copies, or whichever you want out of that. And I'm looking forward to spending some time with you both.
Oh yes, definitely.
And Maria.
Yeah, yes, it'll be good. It'll be good, I promise.
So Dean said here, let me get this up. It was a fantastic podcast. I recommend it to many. Loved it. Thank you all. Thank you. And some lovely hearts from Alison as well. So thank you so much, Alison. I really appreciate that. And yeah, do message me after this. And if I don't do it tonight because it's getting late now, I will send it through to you tomorrow. And as I say to people, I'm going through a particular busy period at the time. So if I don't get back to something I promised, then just send me another message and I will do, because it's not me not wanting to, it's just sometimes people can get a little busy. You're obviously watching this Past Life Regressions with Paul Goddard YouTube channel, but if you want to book me for Past Life Regressions, or you wish to know more about me, you can go to my website, www.paulgollardnlp.co.uk. So that's Paul Goddard NLP for Neurolinguistic Programming.co.uk, and I also offer classic, the normal hypnosis, and past life regressions. So thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate everybody that's been here. I really appreciate both of you, Lana and Kate, and what a lovely way to spend a Sunday evening.
Yes, indeed. And thank you, Paul. Thank you. And Kate.
Take care, everybody, and do share this out as well. Bye now.
Bye.